Good morning. It's been quite a night, hasn't it? We saw that Rick Santorum did quite well, winning in both Mississippi and Alabama. And though, things didn't go as well as we'd hoped in Hawaii, still, we managed to pick up some delegates there since that's a proportional state. So, 2 out of 3 isn't bad, and we won the 2 that we really needed to win. No doubt about that. And one of the things I'll be doing is posting a video, an exit video, if you will, taken by Democrats. But one of the things that you see is that people who voted for Rick Santorum did so because they said he was the most issues-oriented Republican candidate. And he spent time talking about what he's going to do rather than attacking. So you really have to, give Rick credit. He had a wonderful night. Now to Illinois. This video is going to focus more on why a Democrat should consider voting for Rick Santorum, depending on congressional district. Now, if you're a Democrat, you'll realize that your party has traditionally said that it cares about working class people. Now, if you look at the Republican field, and I'm going to talk about Mitt Romney just a little bit, I think Mitt Romney's a good man. I think he was definitely successful in business, but his point of view has definitely been from the top down. He sees things the way a CEO would see them, and he doesn't have the ability to look at life through the eyes of the worker or the person who depends on a salary. You're talking about somebody who didn't think $360,000 a year was a lot of money, somebody who thought that you could relate to people by saying, the owners of NASCAR teams, or he thought it was appropriate to joke about somebody spending the big bucks because they're wearing inexpensive ring gear. Again, he means well. He really does. I'm not going to tell you he's Satan himself or, he's a horrible man who eats babies and club seals or anything like that, because that's not true. But he does have this one point of view, and he doesn't seem to have the personality to get outside of that box. Okay. And Rick has done quite well, and he does have the ability to get out of his wealth class and see life through the eyes of everybody else. The other thing now, as far as Illinois Democrats, and I completely understand that if you live in a district where there's competitive lower races down the ticket, for example, you might be living in a place where there's candidates for the state legislature, where there's a competitive primary, then yeah, I can understand you probably want to vote in the Democratic primary. But that's not true for everybody. Consider the Illinois 18th District, Aaron Schock's district. If you look there, and let's say you live in Dave Kaler's state senate district, well, Polk hasn't a snowball's chance in where of beating Dave Kaler. Jahan Gordon, not even an opponent in either from the Republican side or the Democratic side. And then you look at the Democrats who are running for the congressional nomination, Steve Waterworth and some other, convicted felon. I'm not sure who he is. Yeah, Mr. Waterworth, nice guy, well-intentioned, but he's a kind of person that if he's in a room, you don't even notice him. Come on. That you're wasting your time if you vote in that. On the other hand, you can vote in the Republican primary and vote for Rick. Now, you might say, well, wait a minute, I'm planning on voting for Obama in the general. Well, sure. Yeah, I understand that. You're a Democrat. Obama's a nice guy and very charismatic and a smart man. Let's face it, he is. And you can still vote for Obama in the general election. But for right now, it might be worth your while to vote for Rick, to extend the Republican primary a little bit longer. And you can see that as a strategic vote. Now, if you live in, say, Illinois 17th, well, there is a competitive primary, sort of, for the U.S. House, but Sherry Bustos has backing of Dick Durbin and the big Democratic establishment. I don't really see that as being much of a race. So, there, maybe crossing over and voting for Rick in the presidential race might be something you consider doing. So think about it, Democrats. And think about it this way. Barack Obama is slightly left of center pragmatist. Mitt Romney, slightly right of center pragmatist. In the general election, that's not much of a choice. Now tell me, who really represents modern Republicans better? Rick Santorum or Mitt Romney? So if we can get Santorum the nomination, the voters in the general election will have a genuine choice of candidates. You'll have the populism, and then you'll have the more intellectual, can you say, maybe slightly more elitist liberalism. You'll actually have a contrast in the general election, and I think Rick Santorum better represents current republicanism than Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney might represent the old Rockefeller, William F. Buckley type Republican, but come on, that's pre-Reagan. You know that, I know that. So consider, if you're a Democrat, consider taking a Republican ballot and voting for Rick. Thank you.